Hello and welcome everybody to session 14 of the White March DLC of my Pillars of Eternity Lorethrough. We are currently in the Stalwart Mines. We have explored over here first. There is a man over here named Gamel who's been accused of murdering some of the miners, but some of the miners are acting strange. Up here there's a guy murmuring about crystals, and we learned from Tarek at the cave-in over here that he thinks that the sulfur in this part of the mine that we are about to go into has something to do with it. Maybe they're breathing it in or something like that. So that is where we are headed right now to try and figure out what is going on. Why are all these miners acting like this? We have a note. A set of fragmented notes is scribbled almost illegibly on a scrap of parchment. Tunnels. Remember lamp. Keep hand on right wall whole way. Watch for spiders. Okay. Moon spiderling. Let's see if there's anything about that in the bestiary. A moon spider. No, this is just about spiders in general. Let's at least see what we can see. And they just kind of have a blue tint to their bodies. I thought maybe there's some kind of like recognizable pattern on their back, but it doesn't look like it. Is this a spell that the moon spider is casting? Kind of makes sense that Durance is getting hurt now that he has a mace. Let's see how far along I am with that. I've only caused it once. Yeesh. And I need to do it 13 times.
I shall be discreet.
Just want to see if we're missing anything. Let's go over here first. It's a dead end.
Leave it to me!
I'm on the trail.
No,
I'm here.
let's do this. Instead of the good friend crossbow, I'm going to give the soulbound crossbow to Bjartar. So he's ranged now. Maybe that'll give Durance a little bit more room to get into melee position. Kill 3 enemies with strong souls. These NPCs are indicated by golden nameplates. Really, I have to kill the golden nameplates. And kill 15 enemies with twin sting to unlock the next level. So either one of those two things. And then let's change the order here.
I'd be glad to.
Oh. A peek inside these shallow burrows reveals the gleaming stare of many eyes. Whoa, creepy. Oh, Killen was they're a miner, and they have these constructs for protection. Hey there, hang on just a moment. She turns towards the nearby constructs. Stand down. The constructs stop instantly, limbs going limp at their sides. There we were. There we are. Now, what can I do for you? You control these constructs. That's right. Pretty solid workers, seeing as they don't eat, sleep, or go crazy and kill their workmates. She smirks. Not as often as your usual miner, anyway. I'm looking into the disappearance of the miners for Ismay. Can you answer some questions? Suppose so. Not sure how much help I'm going to be. Tarek's the one that found Gamel. Do you think Gamel's responsible? Sure looks that way, seeing he's got bits of Samoth in his teeth. She grimaces. Have you noticed any strange behavior in the other miners? Mining's rough work in the best of times. That's why I like using the constructs. I think these tunnels just start to get to people over time. Never thought Gamma would snap like that, but sometimes, yeah, folks start acting a little strange, like when, who was it? She frowns. Huh. You know, my memory's been acting up lately. I'm starting to think Tarek might be onto something with that gas theory of his. Swing on by if you have any more. Killen's gaze seems to slide off you. Uh-oh. With a sudden convulsive ripple, her posture changes. She hunches forward, and her arms dangle loosely at her sides. Brothers, sisters, Terranot is here. Her head turns towards you, but her gaze is empty. Judging by where we are and what's happening to them, I wonder if there is some kind of Vithrock behind this? And that's who Terranot is? Follow her gaze. You take a moment to look behind yourself. You don't see anything of note, and your companions look similarly baffled. When you turn back, the woman has drawn significantly closer. We've been looking for you. We know what you've done. Her legs trudge forward in slow, ponderous steps, as if she might collapse under her own weight at any moment. Cipher. This is because I'm a cipher. There is an unnatural cadence to Killen's voice, almost as if she were reading lines. But you sense something more. There's another presence here, twined about her soul, essence like webbing. Take him away. Lock him up until we get what we want. The constructs behind her turn at once, their clawed fingers at the ready. Seek out the foreign presence in Killen's mind. Time seems to slow as you extend your cipher's senses to probe the snarl of soul essence coiled around Killen's own, fainter life energy. You have the sensation of being watched, pinned under the hostile gaze of a dozen eyes. The presence tightens its grip in desperate bid to regain control, and you feel your own senses falter. Despite your best efforts, your connection is severed. The constructs charge toward you. Oh man, gotta kill him. Piotr using his crossbow. Yes, he is.
That's it.
Killen, the overseer of the sulfur mining operation, ordered her constructs to attack me. I was forced to kill her. Just exceptional stuff. It's a looped rope. Ooh. Grants clarity. Which ups my defense. This looks nice. A young knight sought a legendary armorer living beneath the mountains of the Living Lands. The knight brought a fortune in gold and asked the armorer to craft something exquisite to protect her on her adventures. The old armorer agreed on the condition that the young knight would apprentice with him for 3 years to learn the basics of his trade. The young knight agreed and worked at the armorer's side day and night, fashioning breastplates, greaves, cuisses, I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. And shields. As the third year drew to a close, she waited to see what marvelous piece the armor would craft for her, yet the old man never picked up a hammer but to correct her technique. On the final evening of her apprenticeship, she approached the armorer and asked about the reward he had promised. He counseled patience and told her that he would finish it by morning. When she arose the next day, she found him sitting by the hearth, twisting a length of rope. "I've done all you asked," she said. "I've served you faithfully and learned your trade. Where is the armor you promised me?" "It is here," the old man said, holding up the rope. "You vowed to grant me great protection," the knight said, her hand moving to her blade. "And so I have. You have worked at my side for 3 years. You have seen how even the strongest steel shatters, dents, and rusts. The greatest protection is not bent metal, but mastery over your own mind. With this, even the gravest wounds shall not stop you." This does seem like a pretty useful belt here, too. So let's see who can use this. Do wooden charm as a movement? Yeah, I don't need that.
Margaren's fire casts light.
A yellow-tinged vapor gusts occasionally from these vents, leaving an acrid odor in the air. That's got to be the sulfur. But it doesn't seem like it's actually the sulfur. This looks like it's where I need to go next, so maybe I'll come over here first. Got some confused miners over here. Got a contract for sale. This document details the purchase by someone named Killen of a handful of constructs for use in the sulfur mines. The seller appears to have been one Galvino. So Galvino sold her these? I wonder if I should go talk to him. It doesn't seem like there's any defects in the constructs. It seems like something is taking over their mind. The miners' minds, not the constructs' minds. This dark burrow extends deep into the wall of the mines. Unlike the miners' tunnels, the walls here have an almost slick texture, interspersed with damp, pressed earth. A few paces past the entrance, the tunnel widens considerably. You find yourself at a crossroads, where the tunnel splits off in 3 directions. 2 tunnels lead to the left and right, while the third stretches on ahead of you. You can feel a breeze, faint but steady, coming from the tunnel on your right. God. Take the path to the left. We'll go left first. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving away to the left and right. You hear faint rustling down the tunnel on your left, and a repetitive tap, tap, tap of bristly legs striking the cavern floor. Keep going left, I guess. As you head down the tunnel, you come upon a spiderling clinging to the cavern wall. It hisses fearsomely at you, brandishing its fangs. Startled, you straighten up and crack your head in the ceiling of the tunnel. The spiderling turns and flees into the darkness. You trudge gamely down the path, only to find that the cavern eventually comes to a dead stop. The only way forward is behind you. Turn around. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. Go right this time. You find yourself at a crossroads with 3 directions. Ugh, so annoying. Come to what you initially mistake for a wall. A thick tangle of pale, twisting roots stretches across this tunnel, blocking further passage. Turn around. Tunnels lead to the left and right. Go forward. You step clear of the burrow and found yourself back within the Stalwart Mines. Okay. So let's go forward this time. You come... Oh, okay. So I'm going to go right. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving to the left and right. You feel a breeze on your right. You plunge forward into the darkness. Reaching out, you can feel the walls continuing to the left or right, but you cannot see what lies just ahead. You hear a faint rustling just down the tunnel to your right, and the repetitive tap, tap, tap of bristly legs striking the cavern. A faint breeze, ghosts are across your face, flowing from the tunnel ahead. Should I light a torch? Let's light a torch. You hold your torch aloft, and the tunnels take shape ahead of you. Paths lead off to the left, the right, and straight ahead. A faint breeze ghosts across your face, flowing from the tunnel ahead. So I don't think I could see this forward path before. Walking on, you come to a fork in the road. The tunnel splits here, curving to the left and right. A breeze comes from the left, so let's go left. You trudge briskly past a long, empty stretch of tunnel. Another fork. My God. Breeze is coming from the right. You see light ahead as the tunnel comes to an end. Stepping clear of the tunnel, you find yourself in a new cavern system, a thick layer of spider webs under your feet. Everybody's okay. I thought maybe someone would have a cracked head. You're in the Luminescent Caves now. And that is a dominated miner. Explore the Vithrock encampment. So I was right, it is a Vithrock. Vithrock Luminary. Is there any way that I can... Wow.
Hello? Hello?
So I think this lamp is creating some kind of noise. Don't know if you can hear that or not. And then down below, there's some kind of hive or something like that. What's that noise again? Those little squeaks. Forget what those are. Oh, those are spores. You have radiant sporelings.
You're not getting to...
Poisonous thing is happening there. Let's take a rest.
Keeping an eye out.
Probably doesn't, but let's just see if we have any additional information on... Nope. No, nothing on the radiant sporelings that we just fought. The light from these mushrooms illuminates the dust in the air, revealing the thick clouds of spores. You feel your nose tense up as you breathe. This is strange mushrooms here. This is a door. Like it was trying to go get some help. This looks like another, yeah, a nameless person.
You're not getting through me.
Let's see if Durance is getting anything here. Still only one. Maybe I'm just fighting things that can't be blinded or something. What about Bjarter? He's only killed 2.
Not a sound.
How bad?
Thought something like this might happen.
Gotta take better care of that.
Leave it to me! Leave it to me!
These Vithrax can be dangerous.
You're not getting through me.
We have this luminary over here too. But they're weak, so maybe I need to go over those quick. I mean, maybe I need to kill them quickly.
You're not getting through me. Hello? Hello?
Of course.
A barrier lies across this doorway, humming with a strange energy. You can see no obvious way past it, and that's what they were trying to get into too, so there's something beyond that. Where'd they go?
Something over there.
Figured.
See now what the flame.
Okay. So here's the luminary.
This thing isn't doing the...
Make a good shot with this.
You're not getting through me. This isn't working.
It's no use!
Make a good shot with this.
That's not very helpful.
Oh! There's another brute over here.
You're not getting through me.
This thing isn't doing the...
Okay. Everybody else is dead. It's just a dare that was shooting with his bow for some reason. Okay.
Something over there.
Damn it. was that?
All right, then.
Not sure what that was all about.
That's settled. Let's see what lies this way.
This web of interconnected corridors and everything down here. It's been underneath Stalwart this whole time. Probably was undisturbed for a while, but then when they decided to start digging in the mines again, then they unleashed it. A mind grub. Mind grubs are today considered a Vithrak delicacy, but the mind grub harvests are said to have very pragmatic origins. Mind grubs undergo a prolonged development cycle, starting out as a pale, fragile larvae, and ultimately undergoing a dramatic metamorphosis into large and highly dangerous adults. Few kith have encountered these creatures in the wild and lived to tell the tale, and the notoriously insular Vithrak are not forthcoming with information, but a few more lurid fables suggest that the mind grubs are all that remains of a second, sentient culture that once vied with the Vithrak for dominance. In any case, the Vithrak are content to devour them in the early stages. Consuming mind grubs is said to heighten the senses and sharpen the wits, but the grubs themselves are all but indigestible to kith, who tend to come out of the experience with an upset stomach. So yeah, you're a better perception and intellect for 200 seconds, but you're also sickened if you eat one of these thingies. But that's interesting that there was some kind of ancient race that vied with the Vithrak for control of these tunnels or something. And I wonder if one of those things is down here? Of whatever that race was?
And the fire shows me something new.
It's a Vithrak crystal, an oddly shaped crystal. When it is held tightly, you hear a sharp tone emanate from it. Wonder if that will be... Oh. I found a crystal in the Vithrak nest. I may be able to use it to open the sealed door. Okay. Wrapped up in a bundle of webs, you can see a small spiked Vithrak eggs. Periodically, they pulse within. They pulse with movement from within. Sorry, Tamak, I didn't realize I left you behind. Okay. So let's head down here. Actually, let's go up here first. It's closer. Oh. Why did you lock the crystal away? Why punish us like this? So we have brutes and luminaries. And who are these? Dominated thief. Okay.
Not a sound.
Luminaries first. Oh, I meant to rest. I forgot to.
not good. Leave it to me.
That just felt great.
Okay.
Door, release me.
That was Terranot, the person that Callan was talking about. I don't think I want to release that person.
Of course.
I'm going to take a rest.
I'll see what I can find.
Although probably if we release Terranot, that's the only way we're going to be able to kill him, which I think we will need to do. Darkest Rawatai cookies. Rivaled only by Adirans for their love of sweet things, the Rawatai count many delicious desserts and rich treats among their famed recipes. One of the most revered by wealthy connoisseurs around the known world is the Darkest Rawatai chocolate cookie. It has become a courtesy gift among Rawatai ambassadors, with many foreign dignitaries warmly receiving any Rawatai delegation simply in the hopes of receiving a batch of the revered treats. I'd like to taste that at some point. Alright, let's see how these doors work here. The Vithrock stares at you, its spider-like features unreadable. Its speech, as it forms within your thoughts, is delivered in uneven, low timbre. Why have you come here, elf spawn? To slaughter our people? How is it you speak Adiran so clearly? Our people are capable of much. Some simply hold less interest in learning your tongue. Some of the stalwart miners are being affected by your colony. From the tilt of his head, the Vithrock appears to be thinking. You hear a series of low, hollow clicks. Perhaps we share a common enemy, elf. You seek to help these kith, and I would save my colony. We have heard of your encounter with Charik, far beneath Cadnua. So you haven't seen that yet. I have gone through all of the endless paths of Adnua, all the way to the bottom level. I haven't defeated the final boss of that area yet, but I have gone all the way down to the bottom level. And down there, we ran into a huge Vithrock colony and helped one of them out. I don't remember exactly what we did. So that's what he's talking about here. I am told, Strevek Narith, you have the secret of Adra, with which to strengthen its walls. You want my help? Tell me what's going on. What is it you wish to know? What happened to the other Vithrock? An infection has claimed our people. It began when the scouts came upon a strange plant, a radiant spore. We fought those. It lived alongside a nest of spiders, each deriving sustenance from the other, a marvel of nature, something that we might use. They brought it into our territory, not seeing the danger. It was a matter of days before many of us had ingested the spores. Why did the other Vithrock lock you up? I hid something important to them, the resonance crystal. There is a crystal, great, beautiful, enchanted, which grants us passage into the common house. I hoped that my kin would improve if they were prevented from returning there, but it only made them desperate. I think that's that crystal that I found in the other room back there. Is this the crystal you mentioned? Yes, that is it. With that, you can enter the common house and deal with the radiant spore. Please, hurry. The longer the spore keeps its hold on us, the more my people suffer. What is the radiant spore? That is what we came to call the creature, for there was a light about it. I have seen similar beasts in the cavern, but never quite like this. It has grown to an enormous size in little time. One center stalk, vines like pillars. It has used our own gifts against us. The connection between our kin, it uses to spread its own words, its thoughts. Why did your people consume the spores? The spores strengthened our abilities. Many believed we might all be made more powerful, but what began as study became addiction. It only took one to fall victim to the compulsion. So that's what's happening with these Vithrocks that are attacking us on sight. They seem to have eaten these spores, not realizing that it was having this effect on them. Those who consumed the spores began to hear its words, then its instructions. We fought, at first, tried to control it, failed. Why aren't you infected? I was cautious. I did not partake. Some were forced, by those infected, to consume the spores. I hid myself until I could retrieve the crystal. You feel a faint pulse of shame alongside the admission. Where is the radiant spore now? I sealed it within the common house as the center of our territory. I could not let our people bring the spore to the colony at Multus Quimir. The door to that chamber is sealed with a glyph. There is a crystal which, held before that glyph, resonates with a specific tone that opens the door. Do you know what happened to the miners? For a long time, we simply avoided the Kith tunnels, but the infection has heightened my people's power over weaker minds. The infected ones project their thoughts, their awareness. They find themselves in strange, soft bodies and have no care for what damage they do. It is madness. You feel a sweeping aura of regret from the Vithrock. Okay, so Terranot is not a bad guy. He is trying to actually get rid of this spore, which will hopefully help these miners as well.
Sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
So we have an answer as to what's happening with the miners. Unless he was lying to us, but I don't think he was.
Not getting. Francis! Francis!
Something over there.
We have Elrin's jacket. The best swindlers know how to put on a good show. Many charm with their words or with sleight of hand, but Elrin made his living with the eye for fashion. The son of a tailor, Elrin picked up his father's trade when his father died, but soon found that his love of stitching far outstripped his desire to keep ledgers, and it wasn't long before he was on the street with no means of plying his trade. But while he was begging for coins, he noticed he fared better than the other beggars, and eventually he realized it was because the jacket he wore, one that he had fashioned himself, drew attention. When he had scraped together enough money, he poured it into making a jacket so splendid and unique that it would disarm even the wariest of passerby. It worked exactly as he intended, and in fact so disarming was the jacket that he found he could read and beguile people quite easily once he'd drawn them in with it. He made promises he couldn't keep. He picked pockets with his left hand while pointing out Jacket's fine detail with his right. In a matter of months, he had money enough to buy back and reopen his father's shop, but the thrill and convenience of his new profession kept Elrin right where he was, begging and sweet-talking and manipulating. At the end of each day, he would steal away to a fine abode on the other side of town, where no one knew him. Though things took a turn when when he met a young woman who captivated him from the moment he laid eyes on her. He tried to work his charms on her, but found instead that he tripped over his own tongue and could barely get a word out. Yet the woman seemed to enjoy his efforts in spite of it all, and he finally convinced her to come to his home. He awoke the next morning to find his house had been emptied of every valuable and coin he'd ever saved or swindled, and only then did he realize it hadn't been the woman that captivated him at all. It had been her stunning velvet bodice, and he knew he'd been had by a kindred soul. Alas, his prized jacket was among the items she removed, and Elrin lived out the rest of his days in poverty. Where most padded armor is constructed in vertical strips, Elrin's jacket bears a distinctive diamond pattern. It has a high collar and long sleeves that go all the way to the wrists, and has an uncanny way of catching people off guard. Interesting story there. And it can cast Eye Strike and +2 Perception. Okay, it looks like I've got, this is the Brute Quarters, the Vithrak Nests, the Holding Chambers. So we still have an area down here and up here to explore. Oh, and over here, this probably connects down here. And then this is the Common House, which we need the crystal, but we already found the crystal, so we can get in there anytime we want, I think. mind grub. I don't think these radiant spores are the other race that was vying for territory with the Vithrok centuries ago that we learned about when we read about the mind grub. I probably have a bunch of traps. Oh, that's right, there was a door over to the right as well that I didn't open.
Leave it to me! Leave it to me!
We have a luminary up there. Let's go get him.
Leave it to me! This! You're not getting through me. You're not.
Oh.
Hello? Hello?
So when they die, do they leave behind poison? I thought that was just something they were casting. Tiny spiders run across the web in droves.
See now what the flame has shown us?
The throat of the Vithrok has been torn out and deep gouges have been scratched into its face. Here's some spores. What is this? A dominated miner. Oh. Oh, and there's a luminary up there.
Burn him! That's it! Here's the lesson that Margaret's fire! Here's the lesson to be taught!
Kill these spores last.
Leave it to me!
That's not very helpful.
Leave it to me!
Quietly now.
Minerals from the stalactite overhead have condensed on this small web. Clean water falls from the web and coalesces below.
See now what the flame has shown us?
Okay, good. So here's the door. Looks like we've gone everywhere. Time to see about this giant spore. That's because we have the crystal. So here's the giant radiant spore. It's got some tendrils. We have some Vithrox here. Luminary over here.
That is disgusting.
The radiant spore. This towering mushroom pulses and writhes with life. Each sinuous movement shakes loose new clouds of small incandescent blue spores. The air is thick with them. You hear a muffled hum in the air like a murmur of distant voices. Let the Vithrock go. You hear nothing but the crack of the radiant spore's movements. Attack the radiant spore. I'm not going to inhale. Should really spare no expense here. Aloth dies immediately after this.
I'm here.
Working. That's for my friend.
Let's bring in some ogres.
That will get through.
I don't know if I should. Oh. Why is Adair using his bow?
Hey. Leave it to me!
Hmm. Do I still have? No, I don't have any ogres.
This thing isn't doing it.
Red water.
Almost dead. Hey, there we go. So I was hoping would happen with the tendrils when he died. Alright, so let's see what it said here. I've dealt with the Radiant Spore, and the Vithrock should no longer be a threat to the mines. Ismay would want to hear of my success.
All right, then.
I'll see what I can find.
We have a unique blunderbuss, Silver Flash. Silver Flash is the invention of a dear wooden silver prospector, Engar Resh, who discovered a rich vein of silver in an otherwise empty cave. He had begun to mine it when the cave's owner, the largest bear he had ever seen by his account, found him there and threatened to charge. Engar had come prepared and discharged his blunderbuss at the beast as it ran at him, but the weapon rarely hit where it was aimed, and Engar was horribly mauled. Only by playing dead was he able to escape with his life. Swearing to never allow it to happen again, Engar used some of his own silver to fashion a new blunderbuss that would never miss and would slow the charge of any bear. The barrel is beautifully plated with reflective silver and engineered to create a blinding flash when it fires, bright enough to stop an animal in its tracks. Okay, so it grants blind. Okay. Seems nice, but not something I'm going to use. This is some kind of scripted thing that's going to happen if I hit that, so let me explore this area fully before I go there. Don't think I need to rest, but we'll see. You step past the gnarled roots and enter the burrow, following it through the dark network of twisting passages. I don't know. If there's something here, I don't want to go looking for it, so I'm just going to go to the Stalwart Mines. Yes. You trace your steps and make your way back to the exit. So when we explored these before, there was something... Is there somewhere else we want? Oh, I wanted to go back. Darn it. There was a place that was blocked off by vines. So I want to say almost positively that place blocked off by vines led to that Radiant Spore. And we just couldn't get... there yet. So let's go to the caves. Because I want to talk to Terranar. Okay, so nice. We have some Bithrocks just kind of hanging out here. Our minds are returned, and Multul's Kumar is safe. You have done a great thing, Elf. I will tell my people they are in your debt. Terranot says you have helped us. We are grateful. Okay. So that worked out well. Didn't really need to go back there, but... At least this Vithrock can live in peace now, and hopefully the miners will be okay as well. Feel bad that I had to kill Kellen. Seems like the miners are back to their senses, almost like someone smacked them all in the back of the head. What'd you do out there? I found the Lorethrough colony underneath the mines. A malicious fungus infected their people. The spore was behind all these attacks and disappearances. Well, can't say I would have guessed that one. I'm just glad you put an end to this mess. Which leaves me with the decision of what to do with Gamel. Gamel wasn't in control of his actions. You shouldn't blame him. Guess you're right. Minor negative, really? We'll keep an eye on him for a little while, then see about setting him loose. Take this, a token of gratitude for all the hard work. It's the least I can offer. Now, is there anything more I can do for you? Nope. Ooh, and I leveled up. Very nice. Oh, bless you. I knew someone would uncover the truth. I don't know why I got negative for that. It seems like if you're mind controlled, you shouldn't really be held responsible for the things that you do. Okay, let's level up and then call it a session. First, we'll start with Adair, and we'll just go to the right. For Adair, I left his skills alone, and I got Hold of the Line. Trains the character in new defensive strategies, increasing his or her engagement limit by 1. Moving on to Durance. For Durance, I upped his mechanics to 12, and I gave him the Noble weapon focus so that he can use that mace more effectively. Bjarter's next. For Bjarter, I upped his athletics to 6. He now has the spell Ringleader, imprints an insidious and powerful compulsion to obey the cipher across all enemies in the area of effect, dominating the target and charming all others. And then I gave him the weapon focus Adventurer, so that I can use the S-Stock, the Soulbound S-Stock that I have more effectively. Next, Kana. For Kana, I upped his survival to 6. He now has called his bidding the ancient instruments of death, so when I have 7 phrases chanted, I can summon a collection of ancient weapons to attack his or her foes. I do love those summons. And then I gave him Shot on the Run. The recovery penalty while moving is reduced for ranged weapons, so he can run and shoot that now. Next, Aloth. For Aloth, I gave him 3 points in survival, so now he has a survival of 3. I gave him the 8th level spell Minnaletta's Piercing Sigil. The wizard invokes the sigil of the famed Valian wizard Minnaletta. When he or she is struck in melee, the sigil retaliates with pierce damage, pushing the target back and leaving them stunned. So that'll be good if they start to swarm him, which has been happening. And then I gave him Mental Fortress. Boosts the character's defenses against charmed, confused, dominated, frightened, and terrified afflictions. And then lastly, we have Sagani. For Sagani, I gave her athletics, so hers is 6 now, I think. And I gave her the same thing I gave Kana, Shot on the Run, so that she can run and shoot at the same time. Okay.
Ready, Watcher.
So that'll be it for today's session. We're about an hour. I think we pretty simply just explored these mines down here in the Lorethrough colony underneath, dealt with the radiant spore that had been controlling all the miners. So hopefully the miners can mine in peace now. Thank you as always for joining me. I hope that you ask me any questions, comment anything that you'd like to see or wonder about, or anything I got wrong. I'd love to hear from you. And hopefully I will see you again in session 15. Bye, everybody.